think is the most important line of dialogue that you've heard so far? And it's just, I mean, there's no reason, if you haven't seen the film before, but we can take a guess. Chris?
Yeah, the make room for the trains.
That's probably the standout line. That's a line that jumps out at people. That happens if you listen to the DVD commentary, you'll hear the director say that that's just a line that he heard once, years ago, and he was always looking for a place to use it. And so he used it, and it works. People, wow, I never heard that before. Yeah.
Keep your fingers bent.
Pretty much the same thing that he's talking about.
But in a different way that either does have to change.
No.
How about you're giving up?
Wait a minute. Take the people who put their hands up. Yeah.
The one that stood out to me the most, at least, was when she said that she wanted to buy the piano if you just let her.
All right. That, by the way, is Marion Selby. She's one of the great actresses in the American theater that they got to play this small part. And it's that they wanted a really good actress because the things that she was going to say were important. We've already talked about the train line, buying the piano. We're going to come back to that later. That's not the specific line, but we're right there. Yeah.
When she asked them how many teachers.
Well, it's all the same scene, but I'm looking for
The natural ability.
learning a musical instrument at your age is difficult, especially if you don't possess a natural gift for it. Now, there's no right or wrong about that. I mean, no reason why that should pop out at you, but now that I'm pointing it out to you, pay attention. And you'll notice that they give it to her when she says that line. They're going back and forth, but they give that line to her in a close-up, I'm pretty sure, a one-shot of her, to add emphasis to the line. So you don't hear it said off camera as some of her other lines. She's right there. They're laying it right out for you. Learning a musical instrument at your age is difficult, especially if you don't possess a natural gift for it. So, summing it all up, you have to establish very clearly from the beginning what species of picture it is and what behavior is expected from the audience. What species of picture is this? This is a minimalist film. This is another application of the premise, less is more. John Huston talks about this in the textbook. The means used to convey the ideas should be the simplest and the most direct and clear. In other words, the most minimal. No extra words, no extra images, no extra music. But it seems to me that this is a universal principle of art, to say as much as possible with a minimum of means. We got any art majors in here? Is that a universal principle of art? Okay, so to hear it applied to a film, nothing particularly original about that, is there? But this is an application of that. And so the music score is the simplest possible. The dialogue in the film is the simplest possible. The meal was very good. Your playing was very good. No elaborate speeches, no eloquence, and it's left to the actor, specifically Walter Bale, the actor playing Walter Bale, Richard Jenkins, to convey what he's doing, how he's feeling, the emotions he's going through, without the crutch of a lot of verbiage. What is being asked of you in this minimalist film? To quote a line from Death of a Salesman, attention must be paid. You are being asked to take this film to take this film's journey on its own terms. That's why you have a 67-second opening scene. It slows down the pace right from the beginning. You have to make a decision. Am I going to go along with this, or am I going to just be bored and tune out right from the beginning? There is a section in the textbook called Pace is Preoccupation. It's Alfred Hitchcock, and he says that people think pace is fast cutting, fast action. But in fact, he says pace is preoccupation. If the viewer is engaged by what's happening on the screen, you don't have to have quick cutting. Now, let's from Hitchcock. He probably said this in the 1950s. Things have changed since the 1950s. A lot, especially since the advent of MTV around 30 years ago, changed how movies were made, how movies are cut. There's more fast cutting than ever. But that's still no guarantee that editing will preoccupy you. That will make you pay closer attention to the movie. It won't. A deliberately paced film about interesting people can hold your attention as much as a quickly chopped up film all about piranha. Yeah.
Did you say MTV?
What?
MTV or
TV as well.
Yeah.
the music television channel? How did that affect
The minute
specifically?
those music videos came on, now MTV had a lot greater impact 25, 26, 27 years ago. It's about 28 years ago that it came on. I mean, it was huge. And it created, suddenly everybody was cutting movies the way the music videos were being cut on television, okay? And how many directors today started cutting as music video directors? I mean, a whole seismic change in where they started finding directors from. All right? Okay, everybody clear on that? When I say MTV, literally I mean that MTV created a seismic change in this country, unfortunately. All right. Now let's approach this film from a slightly, this opening scene, from a slightly different point of view. Remembering what Woody Allen told us, I suppose, that the screenplay is only a guide for the work to come. This is a screenplay where the director and, what did I give you?
I guess 20,
No, you don't want to give him that. I'll take care of him. I won't leave him out. Screenplay is only a guide for the work to come. So let's just see how literal this opening scene is to what was conceived in the script.
Yeah, supposedly it changed very little bit when they made it to the film, though.
Okay. Take a look at this scene. Walter Vail, 62, is standing by the window of his modestly furnished colonial house. That living room looks a little more than modest to me. But there's no reference here to the symmetrical look of the shot, so perhaps the production designer came up with that. He's holding a glass of wine and peering out through the drapes, so that was intended right from the beginning of that glass of wine. After a few minutes, an old car pulls up. A slightly overweight woman gets out of the car. She starts to walk up to the house. You can scratch all that. We don't see the car pull up. The woman is not overweight. And we don't see her walking up to the house. Walter steps back from the window and waits. The doorbell rings. Walter takes a last sip of wine and sets the glass down